On this episode of Road Dirt, our resident racer Ryan Nolan rides the 2024 Yamaha MT-09 SP Special Edition model up in the mountains of North Carolina and East Tennessee, and specifically on the famed Tail of the Dragon. Stay tuned. Our friends at Yamaha Motor USA invited us to attend the press launch for the new MT-09 SP model up in the mountains of North Carolina and East Tennessee, and on the proving grounds of the Tail of the Dragon, the Cherohala Skyway, and the roads around Fontana Dam. Our man Ryan Nolan accepted the invitation and had an absolute blast. As usual, the Yamaha folks were fantastic hosts, and along with great weather, the riding was absolutely epic on this amazing street beast.
All right, everyone, Ryan here with Road Dirt, here to talk about my impressions of the MT-09 SP after riding it all day at the legendary Tail of the Dragon. Now, the MT-09 SP comes in at about $1,700 more than the standard model, so it's $12,229. And with that, I'm going to tell you guys right off the bat, if I was going to had to choose between the two, I would get the SP. Such a good value proposition for the money. You get upgraded KYB suspension in the front that's fully adjustable. You get an Owen's shock in the rear. You get the ability to have track mode, which also gives you the option to manage and change your engine braking, as well as completely turn off your rear ABS. In addition to that, the track mode gives you the ability to see your lean angle, your speed, and of course your lap times. You also get the smart key feature, which is a fob. I can show you guys right here. It's this fob right here. It's a proximity key, which gives you the ability to open your gas cap, have an ignition lock, and obviously turn on the bike without having to worry about having the key with you. And I think that's really neat. Now, this is my first time to the Tail of the Dragon, and needless to say, I was a little bit nervous, so I wanted to make sure, obviously I had a good time, but knowing that I have a bike that's confident, inspiring, and is going to go where I want it to go, and I have that good feel, is something I obviously wanted. And I think Yamaha did a perfect job choosing this location, because we got to put the SP through its paces and see the differences over the standard model. And I can tell you from experience now that those differences, you can tell, and they make a huge difference. This is the perfect bike to have at this location to go through these kinds of roads. I could feel the front suspension working, and also the upgraded Brembo brakes, which you also get with the SP model, were just perfect. Lots of good feedback in the bike. I could tell what it was doing, even though I'm on roads that, I can't see around. I'm trying to look ahead. I'm trying to get the lay of the land and take it all in, and I just felt like I could do everything I wanted with this bike. And we were talking with a couple of the journalists earlier today, and I felt the bike, from an ergo standpoint, fit me perfectly. I'm 5'10", 175 pounds. The seating position, you're angled a little bit more forward on the bike, which makes me feel really tied into it. My legs wrap around the tank because it feels nice and narrow. And then my feet are just angled a little bit back, a little bit more of that aggressive riding position. But I was curious for some of our taller people, if this bike would work for them, if it was going to be too small. One of the other journalists, he's about 6'2", 6'3". I talked with him, he said the bike actually felt great. So the point of that being, this can fit a variety of different sizes, different riding styles, depending on what you want to do. This can really tick all those boxes for people. I was thinking about this bike more and thinking, who would this bike be for? To me, it'd be for someone who just needs a bike. They can only have one and they want it to do everything. I want to run around town. I want to go out on the interstate. I want to go on a longer trip. And maybe I want to go take it to the track and do a track day. Or maybe go do some aggressive street riding, maybe go through the Tail of the Dragon. This, to me, ticks all those boxes. And with the way things are today with the market, we really are lucky because we're really spoiled for choice for our options for motorcycles, especially at this price point. There's so many different ones to choose from. And I don't have a street bike currently. I just have my race bikes. If I was going to get a street bike again, this would be the one that I would be looking at. I'd look at the SP. I wouldn't even bother looking at the standard model because again, for that $1,700, you could not put everything that you've got on this, and with the different color options, with the special color scheme with this SP, plus the suspension and the track modes, everything, and the Brembo brakes, you couldn't get that for that price point. So 100%, this is the route I would go. I am a sucker for a triple. I love the 900cc, the C3 engine. I love it. It would be this or the XSR 900, but for me, since I'm a track guy, if I want to do some aggressive riding, I would want to have this SP. And even if you're not into track riding, if you want to have that ability to make those adjustments, this is the model that you're going to want. And I will say, I didn't touch the suspension all day, and even if I was going to go on a longer trip, having those upgraded suspension and braking components, I think are worth having. Again, even if you're not going to touch the track, I think this would be the one I would go with, hands down. So then I got to give a huge shout out to Yamaha for having us out. I had a blast. Again, Tail of the Dragon is a bucket list place for any motorcyclist, right? And so being able to check that off the list was huge. This was the perfect tool to go through the Tail of the Dragon on and hit up the surrounding roads. Had a lot of fun. I hope I get to do it again. You know, the previous one I did was with the MT-10 SP. That bike's obviously a little bit bigger than this, and I was surprised at how much smaller and more nimble this felt. Even though it's technically only about 100cc difference, this just feels so much more lighter and more nimble. Flicking it through the corners, going through the Tail of the Dragon, through some of those undulating turns and blind corners, this was perfect. I had that confidence in the brakes, the suspension, I could feel what the front was doing, and it felt fantastic. Can't think of another way to describe it. It just gave all that feel and feedback, which is what you want. In the end, that's that confident feeling. That's what we want, and that's what's going to be fun. And we ride motorcycles to have fun, and that's what it's all about. All right, so thank you again to Yamaha for having us out. I got to check a bucket list item off for me, riding the Tail of the Dragon. With that being said, this is Ryan Nolan with Road Dirt. Ride life.